You know, the Buffalo Bills firing offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey is a scapegoat move to me. I believe that Sean McDermott, his job security is definitely on the line. Joe Brady becoming their interim OC isn't going to change anything because here's the thing, right? You see, Sean McDermott is a defensive minded coach. His job is to manage the defense, make sure the defense is up to par, and make sure that he hires the right guys to call plays on offense. And once Brian Daboll left the building, like, this offense hasn't been the same. But at the same time, like, Josh Allen's turnover issues, I don't really think you can put that on the offensive coordinator. You can't control the offensive coordinator being able to limit turnovers when Josh Allen just naturally is a reckless player. That's always been his skill set. He's always been somebody that's been super talented with crazy physical attributes, with a crazy strong arm and athleticism that allows him to get away with making certain throws that other quarterbacks would have no business being able to make. You see, Ben Roethlisberger, it never mattered who his OC was. Like, more times than not, he always was going to be one of those quarterbacks that always was going to rack up the turnovers and interceptions. That's just Josh Allen's skill set. He's a gunslinger. And when you have that gunslinger mentality, you're going to have a couple of costly interceptions that you're going to throw, that people are going to get mad at you for saying, what the hell were you doing? What did you see on that play that even made you think it was good to throw that pass? But at the same time, though, like, firing your offensive coordinator mid-season, I don't think that's going to change the Bills' fortune offensively, especially when you're going from, what you previously had in Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady. Joe Brady is still living off his momentum from that 2019 national championship LSU team. And he didn't really call the plays all that much. All he did was just help with the passing game concepts. When he was the offensive coordinator full-time for Matt Rule with the Carolina Panthers, Matt Rule fired him on his day off. Now, you can say, well, he didn't really have too much to work with what they had at quarterback, and now the fact that he's working with Josh Allen, a better quarterback and a good team, like, he should be able to have much more success. I don't know, like, if this dude was a good OC, like, he probably would have been an offensive coordinator for somewhere else, rather that be in the professional ranks or the collegiate level. Joe Brady isn't going to fix the Bills' offense. Like, as a matter of fact, I think that this is probably a key sign that things are starting to come to an end for Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott, if he gets fired at the end of this season, he probably will get another head coaching job. There's been plenty of good head coaches that have been fired and gotten second opportunities and have made it count. And I don't think Sean McDermott is a terrible head coach. It's just that, with certain head coaches, they kind of run their course with a certain team. Sean McDermott, when he first got hired by the Buffalo Bills, this was an organization that had one of the longest playoff droughts in sports. You feel me? Gets them to the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. He was a Pro Bowler under Sean McDermott in his first season. Then, you kind of have that off year. You get Josh Allen, and then Josh Allen and company start to hit their stride. You get Stephon Diggs, and then you lose to Kansas City. Everybody talks about their overtime loss. And then after that Kansas City loss, it seemed like that was Buffalo's peak. Because after that, the Buffalo Bills have never been able to replicate that same amount of success that they had that season when they lost in overtime to Kansas City. And the main reason for that is because this team just has the ability to self-implode on themselves. They play down the competition, and big games like Josh Allen does play pretty well, but the strange thing about Josh Allen is that he's better playing from behind than he is playing with a lead. You see, for the Buffalo Bills, like, it seems like this offense only cares about getting the big plays. They don't care about being an efficient, methodical offense. And that does come down to coaching and the play calling, but at the same time, like, Ken Dorsey can't control how many turnovers Josh Allen has. Like, Josh Allen has to make better decisions with the football. I think turnovers kind of fall on the head coach. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. That's what they say. That's the old metaphor that they have for the turnover bug. Even Mike Tomlin, Mike Tomlin's a really good head coach, but think about all the games that the Steelers have self-imploded on themselves because Big Ben was just a turnover machine. That's just the kind of player that Josh Allen is. And Brian Daboll being the OC kind of was able to help mask that issue, but Josh Allen still was making reckless plays even when Brian Daboll was the OC. Joe Brady isn't going to fix anything with the Bills offense. All he is going to be a new face calling the plays, and I think that he kind of is a downgrade from Ken Dorsey. I'm not even going to say kind of, like, he's a major downgrade from Ken Dorsey. There's nothing that Ken Dorsey was able to do that Joe Brady is going to be able to do at a way higher level. Turnovers are a thing that I feel kind of falls on the head coach. And you got to tell your quarterback, hey, bro, like, stop being so damn reckless with the football. But you kind of can't, because that's Josh Allen's skill set. Not just throwing the football, but look how the dude runs. Josh Allen isn't going to be playing football for the next decade plus with all the hits he takes and his style of play. He's just a tough-ass quarterback. And, you know, sometimes that's a reason why the Bills win, and sometimes it's a reason why the Bills lose. Regardless of who your next head coach is going to be, you got to find the offensive-minded head coach. And I think that Sean McDermott made that move to kind of save face. You listen to Josh Allen's post-game press conference when he was talking about the firing of Ken Dorsey. He really loved Ken Dorsey. And he said that as a team, we have to play better. Which still means that it still kind of falls on the coaching. And in big moments, Sean McDermott's defenses, they fall flat. Against Cincinnati, they got ran out of the building. Even before that, they couldn't even get a stop against the Kansas City Chiefs. Regardless of, you know, them not being able to get a possession in overtime, they should have been able to get a possession, cool. But at the same time, if you're a defensive-minded coach, your defense should be able to win you the game. Joe Brady has never proven on any level, both college and the NFL, to be a great offensive coordinator. He's living off the hype from 2019, and he didn't really have, well, he had a big impact, but the dude wasn't even a primary play caller. Joe Brady, he possibly could make things a lot worse than what they already are. Josh Allen is just a volatile player. That's just the kind of style of play he is. He's a gunslinger. He's kind of like Big Ben, but way more athletic. And with Big Ben, even when he had good OCs, he was still pretty turnover prone with fumbles and interceptions and whatnot. So yeah, you look at the interception numbers and you say, well, his turnover numbers have gone up since Brian Dable left. Of course. Some of that has to do with the scheme, and a good amount of that just kind of has to do with the player. A guy like Josh Allen, you kind of got to rein in. You kind of got to say, hey, man, like, you kind of got to chill out with some of these throws. Like, you got to pick and choose your spots a little bit more wisely. But sometimes you're just going to have a season when a great player like Josh Allen just kind of has a down year for his standards. Joe Brady really isn't going to fix that. You see, the changes that the Bills need to make are with their head coach. You see, making a coordinator change in the middle of the season normally doesn't really fix anything, because when you bring in a new OC in the middle of the season, the scheme isn't going to change. The problem with the Bills is the scheme. And Joe Brady isn't going to be able to bring in a new scheme and help these players get up to snuff with it in the span of a week. You can't do that, especially when you're about to get in the middle of the playoff chase, which the Bills are in right now, and they don't really know who they are offensively. They don't really have identity. Their identity kind of is Josh Allen, go out there and just play reckless and make plays for us. The Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and Dalton Kincaid, and we'll run the football sometimes with James Cook when we're able to get it rolling. This is a cultural problem with the Buffalo Bills. I don't think it was just a offensive coordinator issue. I feel like, you know, Sean McDermott kind of made that decision because he's now starting to feel the pressure. He's starting to feel that hot seat warming up, because the Bills, over the last couple of years, the expectation has been Super Bowl, or at least make it to the AFC Championship game, but this season they may not even make it to the playoffs. I think that the decision to make Joe Brady their interim OC and firing their offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey was a huge mistake, and it was a scapegoat move for Sean McDermott to have a last-ditch effort at trying to save face.